Good morning. It's been a while since I've been back here. It is now 6:53 in the morning. Um, I haven't been on here for a while, like I just said. If you've seen any of my older videos, I was going through homelessness. I was homeless for 11 days, and the Lord made a way for me to not be homeless and found a place to put a roof over my head. Anyway, so the Lord gave me a scripture, which I'm going to read after I tell my story. Yeah. What? Yeah, after I tell my story. Anyway, so initially, I was homeless for 11 days. During the 11 days, I had went and seen like a caseworker to let me turn this heat off. A caseworker to see if I could get help to find a place to go. Because being on the streets in the cold was tough. It was. And there was this guy that I seen. I'm not gonna say his name. I don't, or maybe I should, because if anybody else needs help, um, his name is David Dubo. Anyway, during my time with him this first time, I found out that I could go and my mother was in the shelter, and so I could have gone and stayed with her. But when he brought it up to me, the Lord said no. And come to find out, after I actually was placed, the reason why the Lord said no is there were other people here that had to be removed for some negative ways that they were treating the people that were already living here. I found this out after I was allowed to stay. But during the time I didn't know, I just was obedient. I know the Lord said no. He said no loud and clear, so I couldn't do that. And with the at the time, should I add that? At the time I was actually staying with like a acquaintance on and off, but this acquaintance was uh, very not very nice. Anyways, and that exact day I had the conversation with the guy, but I let the guy know because this acquaintance was very verbally abusive, very hot tempered, a narcissist, a covert narcissist, very verbally abusive, and like just it was a bad situation, but I had let the guy know that it wasn't going to be somewhere that was permanent. And then I did have somebody else that the Lord let me know couldn't care for me. Basically, like however it worked out, it had to work out the way that it did. This person also left me stranded. Like it had to happen. The Lord wanted me to be fit, wanted me to see what it was like to live on the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, just I believe He wanted me to. Like, there's no other way around it. He kept me. There was people that helped me out. You know what I'm saying? That were homeless too. That didn't have to. They made sure I got where I needed to be. Helped me carry the things that I had. I had people drive up on me, laughing at me, making fun of me. Like I handled it with grace, but I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I was not. It wasn't an emotional time. Like it was like I had times where I was crying and not understanding, but stayed praying, stayed um I don't know, I don't know if the Lord really had me fast. I don't really know. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I really fasted during that time because I needed to walk back and forth. I needed my energy. So I didn't my fasts weren't like dry fasts or anything like that. But anyway, so again, 11 days on the streets I ended up staying at this place. They have this place you can go to at night, but during the day you had to fend for yourself. So, you know what I'm saying? I used to see my videos. If you watch them, I went to the library. The Lord finally had me, because at first the Lord didn't have me posting at all. And then finally one day in the library, He told me I could post. But I was just posting like He'd make me read a scripture and then explain it or whatever. I wasn't really allowed to elaborate on my things. And still, I'm still waiting for the Lord to tell me when to go. Like, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I had to go back and see the man David. The Lord had me go back and see him. But the Lord had given me confirmation before I went back that I could now go and speak to my mother, first of all, and then come and stay here, my birth mother. All right. And that's what happened. The guy was able to get me in by that Friday. So that I had seen him on Wednesday, I believe, and he got me in by Friday. God handled it completely, like completely. And when I came here, it was nice. The people were obviously randomly new, and I found this information out about the people that were here beforehand. When the Lord told me I couldn't stay, they were not very good people. They were mean. They weren't taking care of the client's needs and stuff or whatever. So they ended up getting themselves in trouble without going into detail. They ended up getting themselves in trouble. So I believe the Lord said no that day because he wanted to remove negativity before I came here. That negativity, you know what I'm saying? I came in, there are nicer staffs here. They're pretty nice, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has their quirks and stuff. I just say to myself, you know what I'm saying? I'm all about the Lord. I'm not worried about anybody else around here. I'm really not, unless the Lord makes you speak to them. I'm not worried about them. But anyway, I ended up staying in my mother's room. She initially was in a one room. So I was sleeping on like it was one bed, and I was sleeping on like this cart thing. But they ended up giving us finally, because she didn't want to switch the rooms, they ended up giving us a room with two beds. So my name was finally put on this room. Now, throughout the time that I was here, she kept telling everybody I was here to take care of her. And this is important. And like she kept telling everybody I was here to take care of her, but that's not why I was here. I was put here because she was my mother, my birth mother, and it was like let's call it a Hail Mary. You know what I'm saying? They got me in here like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a bonus that she was here. So at first, she liked me reading the Bible with her and praying with her. You know what I'm saying? She was interested in stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it was nice. She was being nice and not playing like when I wanted to read or if I got up to read, because I get up throughout the night to pray and read. She would be nice and turn down, get up and sit with me while she maybe. I usually read my Bible out loud because the Lord likes that. You know what I'm saying? And it's healthier. It's healthy that way, I believe. And she would listen, you know what I'm saying? She would pray, she would get up and pray, you know what I'm saying? But gradually, like she like she would play things. Like we'd pray and stuff, read the Bible, pray, and then she put on some like vulgar stuff, like stuff where people are swearing and calling each other out their name and just like real nasty stuff, or secular music and stuff. And I don't listen to none of that stuff, like none of it. And I understand this is not just my room, or it was not just my room. But like, you know what I'm saying? If you're gonna put it on and fall asleep, I gotta hear that stuff. So that's in my head. And what happens is when people are swearing, I'll go to say something throughout the day, and all of a sudden I'll get ready to swear, and that's not my character. I don't swear. I don't swear anymore. I haven't. Like I'm really, like I try to keep myself in a positive energy. And like I kept having to tell her, like, Ma, like when you're going to sleep, like can you like turn it down? Because she had it on max, like completely on max. You don't need it on max. You're not that deaf. And even if you are that deaf, you're sleeping through it, like, you know? And I gradually, I guess, was aggravating her. She would turn it down, but like gradually she started to manifest. Like just she would just do and say like things that would calling me out my name, like just real nasty, like oh just calling me out my name. And I would just tell her, like, if you're gonna call me out my name, mind you, because I'm doing everything for her, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking out for you, I'm feeding you, you're saying you're hungry, you want this, you want that, you want your soda, I'm getting up and I'm doing all this stuff for you. And then all of a sudden now you're calling me out my name. Now she was watching it beforehand, telling people like she doesn't swear, she's into the Bible, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? She's a Christian. Just she was making sure that everybody knew. But just gradually she started, and I know this was the demons in her. It's not just her. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, so but against principalities and spiritual forces of evil and such. So I would tell her, like, if you're gonna swear and like disrespect me, I'm not gonna do anything for you. Like, you can't ask me to do you any favors. I won't do any favors you're gonna do for yourself. All right. At first, okay, my bad. You know, I'm wrong. She would say, and then all of a sudden, she would be, I'm not gonna walk around on eggshells because I'm asking you to respect me. And that was the first time we got into an argument. She likes to make a scene. She goes out in the hallway and is screaming and yelling, talking about how I can get out, blah, blah, blah. Now she's on a power trip. She thinks that she's the reason why I'm here. one, I'm here because God sent me here. Because if it wasn't for God, I would not be here, because He told me no initially and then He told me yes. So no matter what it looks like on the outside, I'm here because of God. You have no authority over me. I know that. I don't care what you think what you think it is. So whatever we got while that first time happened, they were like, I wanted my own room, and they said that they could get my own room because one of the staffs, they're not the head staff, was like, oh, why don't you ask for your own room? We got plenty of rooms open. They're like, and you will have to sleep on the cart because my mom didn't want to change the rooms. Excuse me. And so I asked, and the lady was like, no, we can't do that because you're under your mom. Okay, just the first it was a fight to her, but it was more like a tiff to me. It wasn't even all that serious. I just want respect. I'm not going to talk to you disrespectfully. I'm not going to talk down to you. You're never going to get me to do that to you. Like, so whatever. We go on another week or so, and because I've been here like 3 weeks. So, we go on another week or so, and just gradually you could see like she was getting more irritated and being more disrespectful, swearing more at me, calling me out my name and stuff. And I had told her this is the third time I had told her to stop. So finally this morning, the Lord called me to fast, and like at first, I'm not gonna say and say I didn't struggle. Like, I'm not saying this is a good idea. Don't do that. If the Lord tells you to do something, do it. But at first, I was like, I didn't want to. I didn't want to fast. Like, I was just kind of feeling like annoyed. Which, how dare I? But anyway, the Lord had let me know, like, you need to fast, like, you're in disobedience. So I checked myself and I started to fast. And she has a habit of when I tell her, like, I'm not eating today, I don't have to tell you I'm not fasting. Like, I mean, that I'm fasting. If I tell you I'm not eating, stop asking me if I'm eating. Or she would go and get, and this is the devil. This is the enemy trying to coerce you into eating, or you know what I'm saying? Just make you have second thoughts or whatever. She comes with her friend and she's like, "Oh, you eat lamb?" And I'm like, "I do, but like I'm not eating today or whatever." So I wasn't cooking either because I was cooking everything. I was doing everything. But I was like, "I'm not cooking either." And she's like, "What are you fasting?" And I said, "All right, I am, but I'm not supposed to tell people." And she, oh whatever, and starts swearing at me and goes off like goes off completely the enemy, because there was no reason for it. I didn't give her, like, I didn't scream at her, I didn't yell at her, like, it was nothing like that. So I told her, I said, you know what, keep that energy, but don't ask me to do any more work. Don't ask me to do anything else for you. You're doing it for yourself. You're not going to keep disrespecting me. Oh boy, did that turn into chaos. And then I say I didn't stop right when the Lord told me to fast. He had my back because that day was crazy, but it got crazier. So whatever, she comes back in the room, she's screaming and yelling and stuff, and I think I kind of like, I was saying stuff to her, but I wasn't yelling at her, and I wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, she's screaming about walking on eggshells, and I'm like, how are you walking on eggshells for somebody to ask you to just respect them and not call them out their name? Oh, we're two different people, blah blah blah. That doesn't give you the right to disrespect somebody and call them out their name. But then I realized, I said straight up, I said, I don't even know why I'm arguing with your demons. So I rebuke you, Satan, in the name of Jesus. And I went and I prayed. Like, I ignored her. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ignored it. No, I'm wrong. I ended up, she was blasting the music. So I took the remote and I turned it down. I turned the TV down and I stuck the remote behind the thing. I didn't throw anything or yell. I just turned it down because she was just trying to make it impossible for me to read, pray, praise. She just wanted to make it impossible for me to do anything. She was manifesting big time, calling everybody, calling me out my name, lying to everybody on the phone to the situation that was actually happening. Like, she was literally covert narcissist, completely making up the story while I was sitting right there. And that was the devil, because it was like to try to provoke me to get angry, like to provoke me to want to correct the things that she was saying. And I'm not going to say that in my spirit, like I didn't want to, because she was calling my children, calling my brothers, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she was trying, the devil was trying, working through her. And, you know what I'm saying? I'm not ignorant to the fact of willful sin, you know what I'm saying? Because the devil can only use you if you allow him to use you. But, like, he was really trying to work through her. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not even gonna address her, whatever. I was just ignoring her. But Anyway, she ended up going out. No, that was the second day that I did that. Why did she go out? Oh, we're not gonna get. Yeah, Lord, I'm not gonna go that deep into what that was because some of that was actually kind of personal. But she was, she was wrong. She ran out to the office and she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you kicked out of here. I'm gonna get you out of here because you're supposed to be my caregiver, but you don't care for me," which is a complete lie. I'm not her caregiver, but I was helping her do the stuff that she acts like she couldn't do anything. But that's the next part. Anyway, she goes in the office and she tries to lie to the office or whatever on me, and she's screaming, calling me all types of profanity and nasty names that a mother should never be calling their kids, like disgusting names. And honestly, I'm not gonna counter react with you with that crap. Like that's the no. I'm only gonna state what is the truth, and that's it. But I really didn't. I just let her yell. They was listening to her, like she pretty much was yelling with herself, saying these nasty things, and then coming against my Christianity and calling me a fake Christian and all this other stuff. Like just, you know what I'm saying, the enemy trying to get me to react, which I wasn't taking that really to heart. I did have a little bit of reaction to the disrespect, but God pulled me back together really fast. They had me sit in the office until she calmed down, they said, but they had wrote everything down, and they said that they would deal with it on Monday. Like spoke only to me because she didn't even stay long enough to have a conversation. And then but she was angry, like she already had started telling people stories, like already doing her damage control or whatever. I don't feel like I gotta ask to answer or talk to nobody because I have the Lord. The Lord handles my situations no matter what happens. So I just waited for her to get calm, and then I went back in the room and I laid down. Not laid down, I sat down and I just kept to myself. She was pretty much, I was quiet for the rest of the night. You know what I'm saying? She was calling people, still trying to like provoke me and saying things and threatening me, telling people she was scared of me, calling doctors saying that I was causing her stress and blah, 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 just lying. And also trying to provoke me. But she was trying to get me. Now, had I reacted to these demons, I would have been kicked out, but I already knew better. So I went to sleep. I woke up throughout the night to do my praying and stuff. She was up all night long, like probably plotting for the whole next day. But I slept through the night. And the next morning, I got up and she was up a little bit. Then she went to sleep, slept for more than half the day, like more than half the whole day. And then woke up still in her little tiff. You know what I'm saying? Started back up with her stuff. Blasting the TV, blasting the phone. So it was literally hard to hear, but I just ignored it because the Lord told me to endure. The Lord kept telling me to just endure. Throughout the whole day, just throughout the whole day, listening to threats, listening to just, just unbearable stuff to it. Got to the point where I was just like, all right, I had enough. Like she had called my daughter on the phone and was lying to my daughter about the situation and stuff and talking about how she hadn't gotten any sleep or whatever, which I believe she was just applying because I never said anything to it. It was the reason why she couldn't sleep. I wasn't saying anything. But it was really her demons couldn't sleep because they were trying to figure out a way to get underneath my skin and it wasn't working because demons will bother the person if they haven't done their bidding to get their fix. They will keep you up. You know what I'm saying? So she lied to my daughter on the phone. I didn't say anything. I just kind of like giggled. Like I only thing I could do was laugh because it was like, what do you do in this craziness, you know? And she had went out again, came back in. Like there was a lot of stuff that went on in between, but I'm not gonna sit there and like name all the little bitty things. But she came in and I was watching something and then I decided to, because she put her phone on louder than the TV, so I decided to watch something on my phone because I just was like, I'm not gonna feed in. So I put something on my phone and turned around. She turned the TV up so loud, like, and this was just to annoy me. She turned it up so loud that you couldn't even hear yourself think. So I got up and I said, "Are you serious?" It was the first words I spoke to her since the day before, and she tried to like engage me with her words or whatever, but I ignored her. I grabbed the remote, I turned the TV down to a respectable sound, and I put the remote behind the dresser. And I went to the bathroom, and she started screaming how she's going to call the cops, blah, 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 blah. She doesn't have to walk on eggshells. I'm stressing her out, blah, blah, blah. calls the cops, tells the cops all these lies. Now, when she first said she was calling the cops, when she first started to call the cops, like this spirit of anxiety tried to come on me, but I prayed it off. The Lord took it. And then I just like listened to her tell the cops how I was throwing things and not feeding her, and she fell, and I'm her caregiver, and I'm not doing my job. Like she don't see too much TV, first of all. But and how I'm tearing up the room, and she's scared for her life, and blah blah, like much more, like just crazy, unnecessary lies. Like she worked herself up, literally. I told her when she first said she was calling the cops, like I'm not gonna be the one that goes anywhere. You are, like you're gonna be the one that goes somewhere because she tried to act so well, she caused herself to go into like panic mode. Like the cops checked the room and stuff, and the cop was just like, nothing that she said made sense. There was no evidence to any of it, you know what I'm saying? And God was just telling me to endure. Like you just need to shut up, don't argue, don't show any type of emotion, and it's the best thing to do. Don't show any emotion. I didn't do anything. Like I literally just the cop came down, asked me who I was, and yeah, I told him go ahead and check the room. Let him know the only thing that was true is I took the remote from her bed. I didn't touch her, and I turned the TV down and I put it behind the thing. So, uh, the cop's like, all right, just wait here, we'll be back, you know. And now, mind you, I told you they wouldn't give me a room. They because the guy was like, oh well, why don't you go wait in the office and until the cops are done or whatever. Like I'm not gonna run away. I have to stand here because if I run away, that's gonna look really bad. You know what I'm saying? And so I uh I let the cops check the room. I let the cops check the room. They was fine with it. He said they'll be back. She ended up needing to go to the hospital because she just worked herself into like a panic. Like she was trying to act so well. Like even the neighbors was like they didn't hear a sound. I didn't make a peep like at all the whole day. I was just trying to endure. But anyway, the office ended up giving me a room that night after saying that there was no rooms the day before when all the chaos was first started. Completely God. And I slept there for the night. She was in the hospital, so we'll just erase her. She like that. That's it. The Lord gave me my own room. I was able to come in the room and worship the Lord and just thank Him because like and literally like just cry because I was just like, you got me out of that. I didn't like there's nothing. I didn't ask for a room. I didn't do anything. The Lord did it. I woke up the next morning and the lady was like, "Oh, so how are you and your mother?" Like, what do you mean, how are we? She tried to falsely get me arrested, like, falsely accuse me of abuse and get me arrested last night. Like, we don't belong in the same room. Like, there's no, how are we? We're not good. So, anyway, she's like, well, you might not have a room when you get back because you might not have that room when you get back. She said, because we got other people and we was already set up to get the other people, blah, blah, blah. But the Lord had already let me know that He was going to handle it. That all I had to do was be quiet, be silent, and work. So I said, okay, I understand. Packed up all my stuff into one area just in case they had to move it. It wouldn't have been, nothing would have been out of place. Everything would have been together. Went about my day. I came back. And well, I got back in the van. I got back in the van. And the person that picked us up was like, well, making a joke like your mom got arrested. Like that to me wasn't funny because I love my mother. You know what I'm saying? I realized that we wrestle not against flesh and blood. I understand that. I mean, she makes her own choices on the things she's doing, but I also know like it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not just her. So I don't hate her. Like I even forgive her right now. I'm not angry at her. And she's still trying to provoke me every day. Every day I go outside, her demons manifest. She starts screaming and swearing and just being disrespectful. She's got half the people in here treating me funny. It's whatever. But he's like, nah, but seriously, you get to keep your room. Like, awesome. So I don't gotta move nowhere. The Lord took care of me. Like the Lord took care of it all. It was chaos. Let me tell you something. I'm not gonna say and tell you I didn't want to open my mouth and say something, but I didn't. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't. Like there was just there's no sense in me even arguing with her. The Lord handled it. I didn't stay and wait and panic and like even going to see my counselor that day, I didn't sit there and like worry what was going to happen next. I told her straight up, God's going to handle that because there's just no way. There's just no way. I handled that all too well. But the Lord gave me this scripture yesterday, Psalms 115:1. Not to us, O Lord, not to us, but to your name give glory. for your mercy and your faithfulness. This verse is a declaration of God's glory and a reminder that all praises and honor should be directed towards Him, not to humans. And let me tell you something. I don't praise none of them people in the office. I don't praise myself. I'm not saying that I did anything to get what I needed because, again, I tell you, the day before when we had the problem, they said I didn't have a room. And then almost a week and a half before when the first thing happened, they said I couldn't have a room because I had to stay underneath her. They said I could not. They gave me a room. That was God. He moved the pieces. Just like when he told me I couldn't come initially the first round. He removed all those people with their negativity and neglect and just made a way for them to be people who are compassionate that are here. And I'm not saying everybody's perfect, you know what I'm saying? They're not, but they were a better fit for his child to come and be underneath. Like, you know what I'm saying? The Lord handled my situation completely. Even in the ugliest things that were being said, those things was kind of hurtful. But when you know who you are in Christ, it don't hurt no more. Like, I've got people coming up against me from all sides, and the Lord has just been doing his thing. The Lord has been doing his thing. And hasn't looked like what I wanted it to look like. But I know when I left that day, that morning, to go about my day, the Lord said he was going to handle it. So I didn't try to think of how he could handle it. I just knew it would be handled when I got picked up, when I got back. I was thinking more or less to the building, but it was handled by the time I got into the van. Like, you know what I'm saying? The Lord was like, nope, you got your room. Not only do you have your room, you have more space than you need. Like, and I don't got to share it with nobody. Like, this is just like, I'm blessed. Like, and no matter what ugliness comes my way, the Lord has held me up, and the Lord will do that for you too. I hope this wasn't too much. It's almost a half an hour long. But I just felt like I needed to be a little more explicit in the stuff that I was saying. But yeah, I'm going to leave it here. Have a great day. And I pray that anybody who watches this going through a hard time, if you got God on your side, he's on your side and he will completely take care of it. It won't be the way that you think it's going to be, but he will completely take care of it. No weapon formed against us shall prosper in Jesus' mighty name. Have a blessed day. Bye.